right. I know it's been 2 or 3 weeks since we filmed one.
I don't know.
We've had plans get in the way, but we are back, and we're back with Isaac.
Heck yeah.
What's up, y'all?
So, Isaac, the first question we got for you is the question we ask everybody who's been on the podcast. What is the verse that you have carried with you on your walk with Christ, and what is the story behind that verse?
That's a great question, Deaven. I actually wasn't expecting you to ask me that. Feel a little unprepared. I'm just kidding. So, I think a verse that really stood out to me for several years now. Comes from the good old book of Psalms, Psalm 119. That one has been pretty big for me for lots of reasons. Mostly the end couple of verses have been something that have been a great tool for me to use in meditation or just as a reminder during the day. But really, the whole psalm I think is beautiful. I think it shows a lot of our humanity as well as some great insights into God and how He sees us. So obviously, the first bit of the psalm is David acknowledging how God formed us and knit us together. You've probably all heard that verse, and he kind of goes through a lot of beautiful imagery of that kind of intimacy that we have with God and God with us. And then he kind of takes a left turn, and he's talking about his enemies and how he hates people that hate God, and that God should strike them down. And you're kind of what the heck? How did we get here?
Yeah.
But I think it really does show kind of this pull that we have as humans of recognizing that we are, loved and we were wonderfully made. But then that pull to kind of use that to kind of pit ourselves against other people, and kind of have this us versus them, and who's good and who's not. But then my favorite part of the psalm, just the end of it, I think he gets pulled back where he says, search me, God, and know my heart. Test me, know my anxious thoughts. See if there's any offensive way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. So I think beautiful journey, and then the end of it, just really great call to kind of allow ourselves to be seen, and even though God fully knows us, but still make a point to be seen by God and allow Him to test us. So.
And then we kind of also wanted you to talk about what it's like co-leading Hoosier HISteria. What's that, Steven?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot I could say. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, I forgot everything about what we do. We do a lot of stuff. A lot of it's fun. We come up with a lot of stupid ideas. Some of them, die, but some of them turn into fun things like the on the solid rock I dance off or things like that. We got some great stuff in the queue this year. Let's just say, I don't want to give too much away. Let's just say that all 8 sides are going to be bumping. That's all 8 sides are going to be bumping.
Heard it here first.
You heard it here first. But no, it's fun. It's fun. We start talking about next year's Hoosier HISteria pretty soon after Hoosier HISteria ends. Just trying to build out where we're going to go with the theme next year. Trying to figure out, what worked, what didn't work, what sort of worked. The previous Hoosier HISteria, what kind of things can we continue to do? What kind of things have we overstayed our welcome on, talent show or things like that, kind of things we need to pull back on, lots of discussions about all that stuff. And then, as the year goes on, just starting to build our team together and, again, solidifying the theme, figuring out who the TLCs are going to be, figuring out every part of the week and how it's going to go. Obviously, our schedule stays pretty much the same every year, but every year things slightly change. We add something new in. We got to come up with different ideas for entertainment and all things like that. But so it's pretty fun. It can be, it's a lot, but yeah, it's a great opportunity to be able to just test out ideas and be creative. I think that's the most fun part about it, is just the creativity that goes into it, and just trying to create a week that means something, but also I think, our main goal is always to just create a week where people can come and mostly just kind of feel that safety and community of just, being around people that want to see the best for you. So
Yeah.
Any follow-up questions?
This is
Anything specifically you'd like to know about the process of Hoosier HISteria, how it gets planned? Camden doesn't know anything about any of this stuff, so he probably has a
Never
lot
seen him.
I don't.
Probably
No,
has a lot of
I'm
questions.
blind to this stuff.
Probably has
Yeah.
a lot of questions.
Anything.
We'll come back to that. We have
All
a,
right.
we have a
Yeah,
whole
we-
segment
yeah,
devoted
it's
to
all-
questions.
Yeah,
so
we
we'll
have a
get
very
there.
open segment.
I'll
yeah.
think of it throughout the episode.
All right, that's all good.
So this next part, we are going to talk about Moses and the burning bush, which is Exodus 3.
Mhm.
Based off of Mo and the big exit from VeggieTales. That's where
Yeah.
that's the
Exactly.
source
That's what it's
Yeah.
based on. Yeah.
So anything we say, just go back to that.
How are we reading this, Deaven? We dividing it up, reading part of it,
We can divide it up, yeah.
divide it up. All right. So there's 22 verses.
Buckle up, y'all.
How is that? That's not divisible by 4.
You mean popcorn?
Three would be 7.
That's the only way I know. Popcorn.
What's
Yeah.
divisible by 4 after 24? That'd be
Well, no, you
6.
just think of it the other way. Well, no.
24 divided by 4 is
So we
8.
could just do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
No,
not
that's wrong. Don't listen.
Oh wait, I don't know what we're doing.
It's
Listen,
6.
I need to get out of school.
Math and whatnot.
Numbers.
We could just do.
What's the next chapter?
It will cut all this.
Well, here, Deaven. How
No, it
about
probably
this?
won't.
We read.
Okay. There really is an easier way to do this, so let's just go like.
We can do. Isaac can do 6. I can do 6. Sam
So
can
you
do
got-
6.
no.
That'd be 18.
Why don't we just do?
But there's 22, so you could do 4.
This is
Yeah.
so embarrassing.
Is that fair?
That sounds great.
Since
Alright.
you just led, you can take a little bit off for this
Alright.
part. Yeah, you only do 4 last 4 verses.
Alright.
Is that good?
So Isaac's starting us off.
I guess so.
And then, yeah. Okay.
Exodus 3.
All right, here we go. All right, Exodus 3, verse 1, titled "The Burning Bush." Actually, I'm in the ESV. What version are you guys in?
I'm NIV, but
The
I think
Niv.
he's probably.
All right, I'm
The
gonna
Niv.
hop
Yeah.
over to the
International.
Niv.
I just lost my page.
All right, so Sam will get there hopefully by the time. It's like when you're ordering food at a restaurant and you're like, I don't know what I want yet.
The
Just
Niv.
everyone else gets around first.
Yeah.
You know?
I'll figure it out. I've been talking this whole time, not looking at the menu. All right. Moses and the burning bush. Okay. Now Moses was tending the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian. And he led the flock to the far side of the wilderness and came to Horeb. I'm going to pronounce some things wrong. It's all good.
okay.
The mountain of God. There the angel of the Lord appeared to him in flames of fire from within a bush. Interesting. Moses saw that though the bush was on fire, it did not burn up. Very curious.
Yeah.
So Moses thought, I will go over and see this strange sight, why the bush does not burn up. When the Lord saw that he had gone over to look, God called him from within the bush, Moses, Moses. And Moses said, Here I am. Do not come any closer, God said. Take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy ground. Then he said, I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. At this, Moses hid his face because he was afraid to look at God. Popcorn, Camden.
The Lord said, I have indeed seen the misery of my people in Egypt. I have heard them crying out because of their slave drivers, and I am concerned about their suffering. So I have come down to rescue them from the hand of the Egyptians and bring them out of that land into a good and spacious land, a land flowing with milk and honey, the home of the Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, Perizzites,
Perizzites.
Perizzites.
Technically, that's how it
They got some riz in there.
The Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jesuitites. Good grief.
I noticed Camden always
Yeah,
gets.
bro.
some of the
He
weird,
always
proper
gets the
names.
name.
It's ridiculous, yeah. Anyways, and now the cry of the Israelites has reached me, and I have seen the way that the Egyptians are oppressing them. So now go. I'm sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people, the Israelites, out of Egypt. But Moses said to God, "Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh to bring the Israelites out of Egypt?" And God said, "I will be with you. And this was the sign to you, that is, who have sent you. When you have brought the people out of Egypt, you will worship God on this mountain." Popcorn Sam.
Moses said to God, "Suppose I go to the Israelites and say to them, 'The God of your fathers has sent me to you.' And they ask me, 'What is his name?' Then what shall I tell them?" God said to Moses, "I am who I am. This is what you are to say to the Israelites. 'I am has sent me to you.'" God also said to Moses, "Say to the Israelites, 'The Lord, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, has sent me to you. This is my name forever, the name by which I am remembered from generation to generation. Go, assemble the elders of Israel, and say to them, 'The Lord,'" okay, this is so repetitive, "'The Lord, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, appeared to me and said, I have watched over you, and have seen what has been done to you in Egypt. And I have promised to bring you up out of your misery in Egypt into the land of the Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites, a land flowing with milk and honey. The elders of Israel will listen to you. Then you and the elders are to go to the king of Egypt and say to him, 'The Lord, the God of the Hebrews, has met with us. Let us take a 3-day journey into the desert to offer sacrifices to the Lord our God.'" Popcorn Deaven, verse 19.
But I know that the king of Egypt will not let you go unless a mighty hand compels him. So I will stretch out my hand and strike the Egyptians with all the wonders that I will perform among them. After that, he will let you go. And I will make the Egyptians favorable disposed towards this people, so that when you leave, you will not go empty-handed. Every woman is to ask her neighbor and any woman living in her house for articles of silver and gold and for clothing, which you will put on your sons and daughters, and so you will plunder the Egyptians.
We did it.
Devin, do you have any discussion topics for us, or are we supposed to dive right into what we're thinking? Why are you in Exodus 6 right now?
Bro, he's reading ahead, bro.
You're skipping ahead to the good part.
Yeah.
Get away.
What'd you guys think about this? What would your guys' reaction be if you saw a burning bush that wasn't burning? That wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First question is, if you saw a bush on fire, how long would you stand and watch?
It's a great question.
I guess it depends on what I'm doing.
Would
Like,
you just keep walking?
like if I'm
Keep watching, and then
yeah.
once I realized it wasn't burning, I'd be like, I'm done.
Yeah, like if I was in the middle of something, I would just be like, oh, whoa, and just continue. But if I'm just sitting on grandma and grandpa's porch, and there's a bush in their garden that's on fire, I'm gonna be like, whoa, go put it out. You know?
Trying to look up. Okay, I don't have. Give me a
Well,
second.
plus sprays.
Dinosaur game. No, I'm trying to look up the scene from Prince of Egypt with the burning bush and see what that depiction is.
Yeah.
Just kind of get that image in my head.
Yeah. Because it's interesting. I think I heard it.
There we go. Okay.
It's interesting that I think a lot of times we just we hear this so much. We're like, oh, burning bush. That's amazing. But I think maybe in a lot of cases we might just be like, oh, that bush is on fire. And then we would just keep walking because you assume the outcome, right? There's a bush on fire. What's going to happen?
It's gonna wither.
Yeah, it's going to burn up.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that he stayed long enough to notice that. Because how long would you have to stand there and watch to realize it wasn't burning up?
Yeah.
I don't.
I mean, I have no idea.
You have to be there for at least, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes and just watching it. Like, oh, wait a second. It hasn't changed.
Well, the thing I was thinking of when we were reading this is that, I mean, obviously, like we weren't there, but like in Prince of Egypt, they have it as like this purplish blue flame.
Yeah.
You can see here in this picture. I don't know if I can pull it up in this video, but I just look up Prince of Egypt burning bush scene. But yeah, here they have it as like this purplish blue flame, and so I just wonder if it's like maybe it wasn't just the fact that the bush wasn't burning. I mean, I guess it says that Moses saw that the bush was on fire, did not burn up. But I wonder if there was something else that made him like walk towards that bush. That was like, I don't know. Like, do you think the significance? There's some sort of significance in it being a bush specifically. I don't know enough about like theology or history to know if there's any sort of extra like meaning that God has there in it being a bush.
Well, I think that,
or like some sort of eternal flame or something.
Well, I mean, so Moses is in the desert, right? Or I mean, Egypt itself is in the northeastern part of the Sahara.
Yeah.
And obviously, he's not in. I mean, he might be in the country of like the nowadays country of Egypt, but he's not like in their civilization anymore. He's in the outskirts with another group, I guess. So, I mean, I don't know if there are a bunch of bushes just popping up in the middle of the desert, you know?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Part of me wonders if that's like that's why he stopped to look at it, because it caught his eye. Like, there's a bush here.
And it's on fire, and nothing
it's
else around it is like set it ablaze or anything.
Yeah.
I find it interesting that he establishes that he is the Father, or God the Father, the God of Abraham, God of Isaac, God of Jacob. Like that distinction is made multiple times.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess he does that to establish like credibility within the people that Moses is attempting to save. Where, there's that, and then he also says that for Moses, tell the Israelites that I am has sent him, which
Is I am capitalized?
In this, it's weird, not weirdly, but like it's all caps, but it's lower, like smaller font.
That's what I was going to bring up on the King James. I am that I am is all caps.
Yeah.
So I think that's interesting, like the power of that statement.
Yeah. So, which I mean, obviously we see later, Jesus saying, "I am the law of Moses."
Yes.
So, Sam, to answer your question about the bush, it represents him bringing the Israelites out of suffrage of the bondage of the Egyptians.
I don't know, because I'm wondering if the bush.
Well, I mean,
keep talking. I'm gonna look.
Like a bush. I mean, it can you can grow things out of a bush.
I mean, the significance of it could also be that it maybe is insignificant. Like,
that's
like
it's just a bush.
Because again, I think I go back to just the idea of Moses' curiosity. Because if God wanted to, he could have been yelling at Moses like, "Hey Moses, come here! Like, look at me, I'm a burning bush!"
Yeah.
Like, but God doesn't speak until Moses decides, I'm gonna see what's going on here, because he's not thinking this consciously, but he has taken the time to notice something, and then to pay attention and be curious enough to then see what's special about it. Because if it really is just a bush on fire, I might stop and stand for a couple minutes, but again, I might assume what's going to happen and leave. But he had the curiosity and the ability to notice, and then once he approaches it, that's when God then says, "Okay, Moses."
From what I'm reading here, the bush itself doesn't necessarily mean anything. It's more the fire that represents where
the fact that it's
a pillar. It says his glory like a consuming fire, a pillar of fire that radiates light. Which I'm reading this from gotquestions.org. Which, if you don't know what that is, it just answers a lot of biblical questions people have. But it says this is the first time the Bible uses the word holy with reference to God in verse 5. I did not know that.
Yeah, interesting.
But it looks like it more so just the fire itself represents, not so much the bush. So focusing on the wrong thing here, I guess. But
Yeah, it's all good.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sam, I did notice looking back over this that this verse is kind of repetitive.
Yeah.
On a lot of parts.
It's okay. It's
I feel like there probably is a reason for that. That maybe I'm just not grasping.
Yeah.
Unless But
Camden, next season, whenever we read, we're going to try not to give you the names.
Oh
all
no,
the time.
it's okay. I don't mind.
I find it interesting that he mentions the promised land here, a little bit of foreshadowing, but land flowing with milk and honey is interesting to me.
Just like the Crowder song.
Oh, I was thinking of.
Oh, I think the
VeggieTales,
Crowder
I
song
guess.
gets it from that. Yeah.
My mind just works through VeggieTales, I guess. I was thinking of Josh and the Big Wall and thinking of their promised land song.
Yeah.
But yeah, milk and honey's like, I don't know. That's just me personally. It doesn't sound too appealing, but I guess it's.
It's interesting too. I mean, before that, like the question of why is God even coming into action here?
Yeah.
I think that's so. If you read before that, like, why is God? What made God decide that He needed to do something?
Mm-hmm.
It tells us here.
Yeah. Yeah, he's saying that now the cry of the Israelites has reached me, and I have seen the way the Egyptians are oppressing them.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Again, part of this, part of Bible study is challenging because, again, this was written in like a completely different language.
Mm-hmm.
But so, like, when you talk about the repetition of words, that's even more apparent whenever you're looking at the Hebrew, because their language is a lot more limited with the words that they have.
Mm-hmm.
So when they're using words for the first time or repeating certain words, you're right. There's like a lot of times the author's doing that for a specific purpose, and especially with heard them crying out. That I forget the word for that, so I'm not going to even try to remember what it is. But that word is specific because it's like.
I don't know if the mic picked that up. That was really funny.
I hope it did.
That was really funny.
You're not cutting that.
That was in case the mic doesn't pick it up.
Hey,
His
good
stomach
point.
was
Good point.
grumbling. But
Yeah,
anyways, proceed.
But anyway, yeah. So I think that's pretty big here that we don't want to gloss over is God basically explaining why He's coming into action. Because I recently heard like in the Old Testament, like a lot of times we think of God like the wrath of God and the Old Testament God with His wrath. But, reading through the Old Testament, especially up to this point, there really aren't that many stories of God's wrath. It's basically this and then Sodom and Gomorrah. And this same word about hearing the cry is used there as well.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of depicting why or showing us why when God actually does come into play to take care of something, the reason why we see in both of these stories, kind of like with how holy is mentioned for the first time, but this is like only the second time this word has been mentioned, and the only other place is that story, and you begin to see, okay, what is God's motivation for why He would come into action and bring out any sort of wrath, and it's because He first heard the cry, right? I think that's very important.
I can't even imagine how bad it had to have been for the Israelites for it to get to that point where God sends down so many plagues on Egypt, and I just can't imagine what they could have been going through, because I know it says the Egyptians are oppressing them, but there's like so much more behind that word that I just wonder.
Well, that's what like Isaac brought up, Sodom and Gomorrah, and even if you think of like the flood, like Noah's flood, like how bad it must have been, not only like in Sodom and Gomorrah the city, but like the earth itself for in Noah's situation, like how much like sin and evil nature there was for him to just completely wipe those things out, so
kind of think about it too, like, I mean, Camden, you might know more about this than I do, because I know you know more about like history and stuff like that, but so like, is this a similar time? Because I know the pyramids were built like a long time ago, like thousands and thousands of years. Is this around that same time frame? Do you know? Like, are the Israelites the ones who helped build the pyramids, or is there some?
I don't know.
Because I know it was used, or it was built through like help of like I guess forced help of enslaved people, but I don't know
Well,
if that was the same.
so I know that I think that they believe that it's Ramses was like one of the pyramids is tied to him. I don't know if this is the same Ramses because I mean there's names like you have there's like a bunch of Caesar Augustuses and a bunch of Julius Caesars and
Monarchs of
so I mean that could be just like a repetitive name that they have, but I've also heard like Cleopatra. Oh my gosh, I already did.
Okay.
That Cleopatra, Cleopatra lived closer to like the invention of the iPhone than she did the building of the pyramids.
Just
so,
crazy.
so wherever she is on the line, I guess. I really don't know if the Israelites helped build it or not.
So I just looked it up, and it said it was like hundreds of years. The pyramids were built hundreds of years before this happened.
Yeah, I don't obviously have very limited knowledge of the history of all this, and I know it's not 100% clear. Like there's some different debates about where the Israelites actually came from and what actually they took part in building. But a lot of the context of this is interesting. I think I talked about it last year at one of my evening talks of just kind of like the context of how they got here. Because you remember, obviously you guys probably read it, but Joseph was in good standing with the Pharaoh.
Yeah.
And I don't remember which Pharaoh they suspect it was, but yeah, like over time when a new Pharaoh came in, and then they realized that the old Pharaoh had a good, saw it was beneficial to partner with the Israelites, and they kind of had this somewhat mutual relationship where Pharaoh offered protection and housing and food if the Israelites then, worked for him. And then obviously new Pharaoh comes in. This Bible literally says that the Pharaoh forgot Joseph, forgot all of that, and then decided, there's a pretty large group of people who don't think that I am God and don't serve the same God as me. And what happens if, we go into war? Will they fight for us? And so then they, the empire, like we talked about a lot last year, the empire says, no, these people are actually a threat to us, so we're going to, use them for our bidding. And just this idea that if you think about it, the Israelites have been enslaved for a long time now. I don't remember the time period. I think it's like hundreds of years that their people have been enslaved to Egypt, and that's a long time. And I even think after a while, because whenever it says when it says the Egyptians cried out, not here because this is God acknowledging that He heard them cry out, but before when it says they cried out, it doesn't even explicitly say that they cried out to God. It just says that they cried out, which I think is interesting. Yeah. Maybe they knew who they were crying out to, but maybe they were just crying out. And I mean, if you imagine being enslaved for hundreds of years, at some point you probably would begin to believe that, my value is pretty much wrapped up in what I can produce. I mean, that's what they're being told every single day. Like, you need to produce more. That's what happens when Moses tries to free him the first time. The Pharaoh says, "Okay, well, I'm going to take away your straw." Well, I'm spoiling the future.
No, we did the same thing. Yeah.
But so all that's very interesting. And then also you think about Moses as well, and all of this has to be really weird for him because he is an Israelite, but he was raised by Pharaoh. Imagine if you were raised by, he was probably living pretty dang good. I imagine, right? If you're raised in the house of Pharaoh, and then all the people that you're supposed to be with are enslaved every single day and told that they're, only worth as much as they can produce, that'd probably be pretty weird to be Moses. And so you understand why he comes up with all these excuses to try to get out of this, because he's like, how am I here? What, I'm not suffering with them, and I should be, I'm not special. I shouldn't be doing this, So.
Yeah. And we see him make, I guess, maybe more like the heat of a moment thing, but he kills one of the Egyptians as
Mhm.
well.
Yeah.
It's kind of like his first step into,
Yeah.
this calling that he has
Yeah.
that we see
Mhm.
later. But
Because, all this starts in Exodus 2:23, and it says, during a long period of time, the king of Egypt died. The Israelites groaned in their slavery and cried out. And their cry for help because of their slavery went up to God. God heard the groaning and remembered his covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob. So God looked on the Israelites and was concerned about them.
Did we read Exodus 1 on here, or did we just go
I don't
to
believe
Exodus?
so. I was just skimming through it. I don't think we did.
I think we kind of just...
Yeah.
we started with the birth of Moses.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then...
I mean, I guess we kind of wrote to that into what we were talking about now, so it's
Yeah.
it's not a big deal. But, I mean, that's all I have. I don't know if what else you guys have to talk about.
Yeah.
But-
Probably on the next one, we will do kind of what Isaac was talking about with the bricks without straw. Kind of, it's whenever Moses confronts Pharaoh about everything, and then we'll jump into the plagues,
Sweet.
the first 4.
Yeah.
And then after that one, we'll do the last 3, and with the last 3, that will be our last episode of season 1.
Yep.
Wow.
There it is.
I'll say one last thing too at the end of it. I think the biggest takeaway from this too for us is just God saying to Abraham or Moses here too that like basically I don't just have a message for you to go tell people, but with that whole phrase of I am who I am, like he's basically saying like I want you to be the message, and I think this is a pretty big foreshadowing to what we're all called to do is not just memorize a message and go yap it, but learning how to first of all have the curiosity and the patience to look and see where things are happening that maybe we would otherwise pass by, and find God in those moments and be called to basically to be His message and not just to say it, but to live it out and to hear the cry of others, because you mentioned that like Moses, he heard the cry of some, even though maybe he didn't know how to like live that out. He killed somebody, but he heard the cry and he had that curiosity, and I think those are the important traits of him and why God chose him. So
makes for a very good leader too.
Yeah.
Once he leads them out of Egypt.
Alright, welcome back to everybody's favorite segment.
Not today though. We don't really have.
Yeah,
any
y'all dropped the ball.
actually, I think I got a question sent to me. Someone sent me a question. They were like, Camden, why does your tummy rumble so much?
Oh, yeah, bro, I don't know.
Are you being fed up? Are you being fed the proper amount each day?
No, it's just ice cubes.
Are you getting your 3 square meals a day?
No, I am. I just have a ridiculous metabolism. So.
Been there.
Yep.
Not
I
so
can't
much
wait
anymore.
for it to stop.
Yeah, once you're done
Be
running,
careful
are you
what
gonna?
Be careful what you wish for, buddy.
Oh, bro, I'm gonna get so big.
Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, man. This summer 2026, I'm pulling up the Hoosier HISteria and I'm gonna be thick. I'm just playing. I don't know. Hopefully not.
Heard it here first.
Yeah.
I guess I have 2. This is just based on what you said. I have a quick question
Let's
for
rock and
you.
roll.
Once you're done with track, are you gonna keep running?
No.
Like this? Oh, okay. That was quick. Not even just like casually, like I'm just gonna take a run this morning.
So like maybe if I have like friends that'll ask me like, hey, you want to come run? Yeah, sure. Like 2 miles maybe. But I'm not. You will never catch me running by myself. It's not happening.
Wow.
Like it's just not. Like don't know if you guys know this, but running sucks. So yeah, I just did it there for a while because I wasn't good enough to be good at any other sport. I was naturally good at running, and so I was like, why not? I'm too competitive to just sit at home every day after school. I got to do something. I got good, and so that was fine. Like running was fine because I was good and it was tolerable. But then like those 2 Hoosier HISterias ago, so not the most recent one. No, it was the most recent one. It was
Where you
this
woke
one.
up early and you were...
Yeah, I woke up early. I was running, and I realized, like, I was thinking to myself, I have colleges that are talking to me right now, and offering to pay a lot of my tuition for athletics plus academics, and I just kind of thought to myself, like, dang, I'm gonna have to be doing this next year, whether I'm a student or a table leader or whatever. Like, I'm gonna have to do this again, and this sucks. It kind of clicked to me like it's not worth it. Like, I'm just doing it for the pleasure of winning.
Yeah.
And yeah, right there I decided I'm not running collegiately because I don't want to do it for 4 more years. So yeah, that was kind of rough, like having to tell coaches that were offering me a ton, and like good schools too. Like, I'm not interested.
Just be like, psych.
Yeah, that was kind of rough. But no, yeah, I just landed that I'm staying local because ISU has what I want.
Yeah.
Go trees.
Yeah, I value being close to home a lot.
Occidentals.
I know, yeah. And I mean, yeah, I don't really plan on running. I'm gonna try to stay relatively fit, I guess. But no, in my opinion, running's not worth it. I'm burnt out on running severely. So
That makes sense. That's fair.
yeah.
Wish I had those kind of convictions keep me from running, but it's not quite that.
Are you a runner?
It's different
I
ones.
don't. I just don't run.
Yeah,
Unless there's a ball involved.
I won't either. Yeah, that's about it. So yeah,
You run
that's-
golf?
Do you run in golf?
Yeah, there's a ball involved.
That's true.
Dang. Yeah.
I guess I have a question for you, Isaac. We've asked this before on the show, but I'll ask you, what has been your favorite Hoosier HISteria memory as both a student and then now as like kind of more of a leadership role? This is kind of on the spot. I didn't prepare these beforehand, but
There's a lot too.
there's a lot to get through.
I've been around a while. I got a few memories in the old noggin. Oh man. Favorite memory. Being a student. I'm gonna forget everything I ever did. For those of y'all who don't know, I started going to Hoosier HISteria when I was in 5th grade.
Yeah.
Early start.
Back in the day, we needed more kids, and I was a kid in 5th grade. So I started going then. Back at the old turkey run. Lots of good memories of getting hit in the face by Cale McCoy with a pantyhose full of baby powder, whatever, the snowball things. We did that one day with Kenny Heller. Let's see. Playing silent football in the dead of night.
I remember those. Those
Yeah.
are-
I was
those
trying
were
to
good
make.
times.
There was a certain girl I was trying to make laugh. I was.
Oh.
Yeah, dude. I put myself out there. I asked her friend to go ask her to come upstairs and play silent football. We were at Berea Christian Church.
Shoot.
She did. She came upstairs and made her laugh a couple times.
Bang.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
How did that
football.
story end? Where's it at?
Still ongoing.
Okay.
Yeah. Got her number last week, so I sent it.
I still
Text.
communicate with her through a friend.
Yeah, through a friend.
Through the messenger.
Yeah, let's see. Oh man, there's too many. There's too many to
That's a
count.
fair answer.
There's too many to count. Oh,
I'll make it easier for you. What about, do you have like a standout memory from last year?
from last year.
I don't know if that's easier or not, but since it's a little more recent.
What happened last year? What was the theme last
That's a great question.
year? Tale of Two Kingdoms. I
Yeah.
picked that
Yeah.
theme up. I remember that now.
Yeah.
I don't know why my brain works like this. Usually I tell the same stories over and over again. When someone asks me to tell a story, then I can't think of any stories. But
It's kind of unfair to ask because now I'm trying to think of what happened
Yeah.
last year. And I was like,
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
know.
can't remember.
Only thing I remember, I remember a lot from Hoosier HISteria, like this most recent one.
Wow,
But
this guy remembers.
what comes to mind quickly was whenever it was Peyton. He's like, Camden Sam, name a point guard. We're like John Stockton.
We were both at the same time. We were like, John, stop.
Like I obviously I think that he said like the greatest point guard. So we could
Well, I
have
don't
gone.
even know if he just said name a great point guard.
Yeah.
There's like 10.
We could have gone
Yeah, we
could've.
Magic, Steph,
But what John?
Nash,
For some
yeah.
reason, we went John
John
Stockton.
Stockton.
Even though
I just
it's not
thought like
Good pull.
whenever I think of like what a
You guys
point,
aren't casuals.
like what a point guard should
Yeah,
be,
true.
it should be John
I
Stockton.
guess yeah, that's true. He's like
Casuals say Magic Johnson. but I say John Stockton.
I say John Stockton.
I go with Pistol Pete Maravich.
Oh.
Did you
I
know
say
he used
Isaiah
to? Did you know
Thomas.
he used to dribble around his house blindfolded?
Really?
I have heard that. Yeah.
My grandpa told me that like 12 times.
I feel like Pete Maravich and Wilt Chamberlain are like the Mount Rushmore of NBA players. Just have like the craziest stories about them. Like Pete Maravich threw a full court behind the back pass.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I remember from last year, you were talking about getting up early. I remember I would get up early just, for no reason. Just because I want to get up early. And then be brushing my teeth and I'd be hearing you and, was it Tucker that also was
Tucker,
you guys talking in
yeah.
the shower about
Yeah,
whatever.
Tucker would.
That's a good memory.
I don't remember like the exact times. Like, I think that if we had to get up at 7 to be at the church at 7:30 or 7:45, I would get up like an hour early, throw on some clothes, go run a couple miles, come back, and by the time that I would open the door because Tucker was right there, would wake him up, and he just told me he would get ready with me in the mornings.
Yeah.
And so he'd walk down with me to the shower house, and we'd shower and just talk.
Nice.
And then we'd get ready, and by that point, Sam would get in the bathroom, and that was lit.
It was just us
for real.
three chilling.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
I
lit.
stayed in the cabins one year. It was good times.
I
As
remember
much as
that.
they suck, it's good times.
Yeah,
They
they
are,
do
for
suck,
sure,
but there's just
yeah.
like a community about it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
some of the best. Yeah, I feel like we always bash the campground.
Taking
but
the speaker into
the campground.
shower and
sucks.
listen to "Come and Get Your Love." All the classics
Yeah,
in the
like,
shower.
that's good memories.
Good
there.
times. I locked our whole entire cabin out of the cabin last year. Or the year I stayed in the cabin. That wasn't last year. That was like 2
Yeah,
or
that
3
was
years
a
ago.
couple years ago.
That was awesome. Yeah, super responsible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got-
They flipped our beds and my pillow touched that concrete ground and that actually made me a little mad.
Yeah,
That's
I would
filthy,
really-
bro.
I did get a little upset, and so we were gonna plan this elaborate prank. Because when I get into pranking or doing any of that stuff, I get into it. I go all in, and it didn't.
Yeah, we were trying to go.
Yeah, we locked ourselves out of the cabin.
If I remember
So-
correctly, that was the year after Cabin Wars.
Yeah.
And so
Yes.
See,
obviously
I feel
So
like,
let's not do that anymore.
no, I don't want to. I was a really bad choice on my part.
well, because
back
I
in
feel
the
like
day.
if Cabin Wars is to happen again, it's got to be like
it won't be.
we have to wait like 3 more years.
I don't feel like it'll be the same. Yeah.
Like,
You can't
it's-
force it.
it's-
You can't.
like,
There's gotta be a
yeah.
reason to go to
Like
war.
even now, it's too soon.
I feel
I
like
think we still have to wait a few years before it can even touch that.
I feel like
Much
if
of
a
good
new
thing is
yeah, we can't
it's
ruin
just
it.
annoying.
It
I
has
feel
to
like
be
if a
whole
new
generation.
I agree.
yeah, like a new generation
Like-
has to do it.
Like
yeah,
we have
start
to
it.
be in. Like we have to be a couple years into working and be like,
I
yo,
agree.
years ago, you know.
Like
Well, 'cause I think
I'd
too-
say like Tyler Hess's group, they'd be fine starting it
Well, I feel like we
because
can't-
they're the second.
we
youngest.
can't. They have to find out on their own. Like they have to because that's what you guys did. Like you just were like, we're just gonna flip their beds.
Yeah, we just
like
felt
it starts
like
to
it,
happen
yeah.
naturally, you know.
And
like
we should not have done
these
it.
new
Yeah.
generation kids have to
Yeah.
stumble
Kids
upon it on
these
their
days.
own. Kids these days don't know how to pull off a good cabin prank.
Yeah, because I remember, it was like the year after we were going to do it because they did it to us,
Mhm.
like as a retaliation from the year prior. I remember we were like in their cabin, like trying to distract them or whatever. And then, I remember it was Grayson Hopkins came over. He's like, yo, like we're locked out. I remember like we were trying to get my dad because he was in that cabin.
Yeah.
I remember we didn't end up doing it because he had to like remove himself from the euchre game to wedge our door open.
Yeah.
So.
I feel bad because some of the kids were blaming themselves, and I'm like, why are y'all blaming yourself?
Yeah.
We just locked out. There's
I'm-
no need to point
I'm
fingers.
23 years old. I'm in charge of this cabin.
Yeah.
Don't blame yourself.
Yeah.
It's also just like I don't
My
know.
fault.
Those memories like that are funny. Like they're annoying in the moment. But
Yeah,
it's just
they're
like
funny.
we really locked ourselves
You
out of
gotta
a
figure
cabin.
it out.
Yeah, bro. Like, how does
Yeah.
that happen?
Numbskulls.
One of my favorite memories of last year was actually with Camden and Sam.
I was gonna say that too.
It's a good
The
one.
late night
And
shower.
we had the speaker in the shower, and All My Hope from Crowder came on, and all of us were just carrying the tune with it.
This was Thursday night too. This was after the party.
After the
This was
party,
the last day.
Yeah, all of us were just carrying the tune, and then they leave to go get something, and they come back with a speaker, and they're playing the same song.
Well, because I remember
again.
it played in the shower, and I was like, "Yo, Deaven, run that back." And Deaven like reached out of the shower, played, let's do it again, and then we came back with it. That's a
I remember I liked our poker games.
banger. Yeah, poker was fun last year
You
too.
guys remember
Gambling free, by the way. We weren't
Yeah.
paying no money.
my one and only year's team leader had Sam on my team. Sam, Brandon, and
That was
Jonah.
2020, I think.
Yeah.
It was a good year.
Remember the fidget spinner wedding?
Oh yeah.
What?
The fidget spinner friendship wedding.
Yeah, like that's a vague memory. I remember that year we showered at the Wristlers, and I remember
Oh,
you
yeah.
got like a really bad sunburn or something, and you were like getting into your shower, and when you hear you get in the shower, you're like, ah! You're like, you got in the shower.
Please wear sunscreen. I'm a terrible example. I don't wear sunscreen.
Look at you, because you're about to take your shower, you walk out, and your back is just
I
like
know.
beet red.
Yeah.
You're like,
That
did
was
you-
terrible. That was not good.
Oh man, that was so
Wear your
funny.
sunscreen. It's-
Was that the same year we went to the park pool and they made us stop watching people
It made
because
us-
we watched
That might
Camden
have
and
been.
Camden just goes.
Back whenever I was like 5'2", 75 pounds.
Back, yeah, that was the day we watched Deaven do 45 cannonballs.
I forgot about that. Yeah,
That
I remember you were
completely left my
so
mind.
red. Yeah,
It's
Devin's
like
like,
an outline.
yeah. We were like, do it again, and he would do it again, and like, do it again. And each one was just bigger than the last. I remember. Yeah,
We used to be so into
dude, bro, the park pool. I forgot about that.
Dang, that was 6 years ago.
Bro, it
Yeah, that's
was.
That is crazy. We used to be so irresponsible and unhinged.
Now we're all
We've
really,
matured.
Yeah, I'm really responsible.
Yeah.
I'm 100% a responsible adult.
Yeah, whatnot.
You know, things like that.
All that good stuff.
I did not think of a question for your leadership stuff. By the
That's
way.
all
I feel like you did a pretty good job outlining
Yeah,
that.
it's exceptional.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I gotta figure out. We gotta hire a certain producer to come up with a theme song this year.
Ooh.
Oh shoot, yeah.
We've had one in the last few years, but
I also asked this: do you already have ideas in the work for next year, like stuff that you couldn't fit in this year, and you're like, "Well, we'll just do that next year," things like that? Do you ever have that come up?
yeah, especially with like stuff like entertainment or things like that. Sometimes we try to be on theme. It's fun to be on theme with entertainments and stuff. But sometimes there's just ideas you can use any year. So
Yeah.
I think the comedian was a good call
Yeah.
on this last one.
I thought
That
it
was
pretty funny.
Yeah, that was a good time. I always like whenever you guys try to like build on a theme,
Yeah.
especially like I feel like Built Different really sticks out to me because you had the Built Different with like the Legos, and you also
Yeah.
had Built Different as in records, and
Yeah.
so that really stuck out to me as like a good theme. with
Yeah.
that. Kingdom was good too. Minecraft Kingdom and Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah.
That's good. But
it's good when you have built different was good too because that's just a phrase you can just say
Yeah.
a billion times.
And I feel like
I
it
think
was
we did. That
popular
was-
at that time too.
yeah.
Yeah.
that was a fun time.
Yeah, it's a pretty good theme.
So I think that tops my list as my favorite year
Really?
as a student. Yeah, I'd say that, and then it would be last year.
Yeah.
My top
Yeah,
two.
I'd say as far as like memories go, like I feel like you have fun every year, but as a kid you're there for the fun, and so you make the most of your free time.
Yeah.
But as far as like curriculum goes and like getting the most out of Hoosier HISteria, for me it's been the past 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think those are the years that stand out to me. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like I could not tell you a single memory from like my first 2
Yeah.
years.
Yeah,
my
honestly,
first
yeah.
memories
like
come
vague,
from
vague
2020.
memories. Yeah.
Like I don't remember anything about 2018 or 2019.
Yeah.
But
Really,
once you
they're
get to
just a
like I
blur.
voted and like
They get to a
I remember something about 2019's, which this is kind of out there, but so Nick Ross was mine and Jonah's table waiter, and we'd go over to his house to take showers and stuff, and his dad was our dentist, so it was kind of weird being there at our dentist's house taking showers, but
eating junk food. He's
like we'd go down into the basement and there'd be like practice chairs of like dentist chairs and stuff, and we were Nick goes, yeah, he practiced on me and Pierce sometimes down there.
That's what I don't know. This is kind of random, but I feel like there's the popular trend now of ball knowledge. I feel like there are some people at Hoosier HISteria that like you say and you're like, oh, that's like only a couple of people here know who that is.
probably, yeah, because
Like
we have a
ball
whole new
knowledge, yeah.
generation of.
I know. Like if you said if we were up on stage this upcoming Hoosier HISteria and you bring up Nick Ross, like none of the kids
I could probably
are
name
gonna know
like
who that
15
is.
people he has never heard of.
You probably could. Yeah.
I remember my first, because this was the only time me and Sam were in a group together, was our first Hoosier HISteria. Because we had Thomas
I don't
Hess.
remember that. I don't remember anything about. All I remember my first year is that Thomas Hess was my TL.
Yes,
That's, like,
I had
pretty much
Thomas
it.
my first year.
Yep.
So, yeah, that was the only time me and Sam were ever in a group together. And then...
We had to separate you guys.
You're too powerful together.
we-
Yeah.
Two great minds.
and then
That's why me and
for,
Cameron were apart for so long.
I know. Yeah, until this last year.
and then for like 4 years straight, I had Andrew Stiples with me. And then every time Abby was a TL, I had Abby every time.
Yeah.
Times. Another good memory.
I'm thinking of like a ton of memories now too.
But I think my favorite year was, I forget what actual year it was, but you are
Here.
here. No,
2022.
That was
Four.
Cabin Wars year.
yeah, that was the Cabin Wars year.
3.
But I think I liked the group
3 was
because
pretty good.
I liked the boys with me. I had Brandon, Kenny, Kennedy, Rowan, us four. That
Hit different.
us four were
Built different.
a memory that I have on there was whenever we were parking at the cabins, and we always parked in the back on a hill, and Kennedy forgot to put the car in park, and so we start rolling, and Peyton comes flying around the corner, and Kenny's sitting right here in the back, and I'm like, if Peyton didn't stop, he would have drilled me and Kenny in the back.
I have a memory to share. This might be kind of all knowledge. You know, this may not be a memory very many people remember. It's kind of insignificant. But I remember when they were playing Gaga Ball, and I went to make a jump. Right, I was wearing jeans, and then I fell, and I tore my ACL. And I don't think a lot of people saw that actually. I think that's kind of on the down low. You know, I went inside, walked on the rest of the year with crutches. You know?
Yeah, bro, that was crazy.
We're close to the 3-year anniversary of that. So.
Yeah, because that was Kevin's first year here, and he was your TL.
Yeah.
And that was Kevin's first year, and Kevin's like,
Kevin came up with the phrase "coming in crutch."
Game 7.
Coming in
yeah,
7.
I remember the joke Chris made to you. He looks
You're right,
at
it is too soon. I shouldn't laugh.
I remember the joke Chris made to you. He looks at you and goes, "Lieutenant Dan, you got new legs."
I hadn't seen Forrest Gump at the time, so I didn't get that.
Dude, what sticks out to me most about that was like, I remember you were rolling on the ground, and I think it was one of your sisters. You're like, "It's okay," and you're like, "No, I tore it." Like, and then like,
no, because I knew instantly. Because once you've done it once, you know when you do it again. It's like it's the exact same feeling, and you're like,
was it the same knee? I feel like I asked
It's the
you
same
something.
knee. Yeah.
It was. Yeah. And so I remember you did that, and like we're just all like sitting there for like minutes, just like. I remember. I think it was the Speedway girls. They were like, "Sam would want us to keep playing," and I'm like,
no, it's just funny because like,
I don't- I feel
obviously,
bad,
obviously
yeah.
you see me like. Just registered with me. No, but I just think it's funny because like I tear my ACL, and then like I go inside and I'm just thinking like obviously I'm thinking like dang I just have to go through 6 more months of physical therapy and surgery and I'm just thinking like I wonder what they're thinking out there because like I just tore my ACL.
Yeah.
So, like I don't want them to feel like awkward or anything. Like just carry on. I'm fine.
Because
Like,
I remember me and Kenny jumped in and got you out.
Yeah.
I remember me and Kenny doing that.
yeah.
I thought you flopped.
Because that was the first year we had
It's
spam
SGA.
at Wild and Crazy.
Yeah. Sam missed out on the spam that year.
which I mean. Maybe it was a good thing I tore my ACL.
No, it was worth it. It was worth it.
I remember sitting in a chair watching you guys like that Wild and Crazy games, and they're like, it must have been traumatizing for some of these kids because they walked up to me and they were like, "You're so lucky you have to do this," and I'm like, "Okay, can we chill?"
You're so lucky
You're
that
so
you tore
lucky
your
you didn't have to
ACL.
put your feet in spam. And
You're
you
so
tore your
lucky
ACL.
That's what.
That your Gaga ball career. This is big wrench thrown into
Hey,
it.
and you know what?
I had to touch spam.
Speaking of Gaga Ball career, I gotta say I didn't play the year after just because I was still
You're
recovering
like,
mentally and physically,
Yeah.
But I came back last year. I won my first 2 games, or just my first game, I think, and then I went in the finals the next game. So
dude's like Kevin Durant.
yeah, no, literally, I'm like Kevin Durant. I come back better than ever.
That's what.
But
Wild and like injuries are wild and crazy. I remember this past year, there was the thing where like you would spin and then you'd kick the ball or throw the ball, whatever.
yeah.
I remember like I went to
Austin.
kick. Yeah, so Austin did his little like dance, yeah. And I remember like I went up there and I missed and I hit the ground hard. I remember I bounced up real quick and everybody's like, "Camden, are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, why is everybody asking me this?" Like, "Cause you hit your head." I was like, "No, I did not hit my head. Like, I don't feel any, like, I'm fine." And then my mom's like, "You need to take Advil." I'm like, "No, I don't. I didn't hit my head." 5 minutes later, I'm like laying on the ground, like dizzy and like my head. That was a crazy thing.
I think, because I didn't see yours, because you were on the other one.
Yeah.
But I think the one on my side that I thought was the worst was Mitchell because he didn't land on the tarp. He landed on the grass,
Yeah.
head first.
That was tough.
That and my ACL is why I will never do slip and slide challenges. I'm worried I'm just gonna do it a third time, and I'm like, I'm not.
It's not worth it.
I will never
It's
take
not
that
worth
risk.
it.
Yeah.
I was like,
Like at this point, from this point forward, I'm always wearing a brace. I'm always just like keeping caution because
There's no reason.
there's no reason to.
because I
Most
remember
people have that realization when they're like 30. I had it when I was 18 years old. Like I'm fine. I'm good. It's not that deep. I'm good.
I remember with the dance Austin did. I remember Amy coming up to me and goes, "We might do this at the dance party." Well, Austin getting embarrassed, and I was like, "He'll be fine." I was like, "Oh, like he'll be fine."
It's awesome. You got to be a little embarrassed with your stare. We didn't do our job, you know.
Anyway, I could say a lot of memories, but I won't get anything specific. But just a lot of memories with the old boy Tyler Hess.
Oh yeah.
We were way back. We were in groups together a lot, sleeping in the hallway together, and whenever we. I don't know if you guys remember when we had set up that tent downstairs. Slept in the hallway and in the classrooms.
I can remember. Yeah. Oh boy.
I forgot. More memories are coming back to me now. From,
Yeah, I know. See, that's what
from the
happens.
first
You get
couple of
into
years.
it, then you can't
Yeah.
stop.
Well, because I realize now how much more I remember. Because now I just think about like when we were sleeping like here and stuff like that. Like I remember one time I went to go sleep in the hallway. I didn't realize how big my air mattress was.
Yes, that was the year you and I were
I think
out
that was
there.
the last year we slept here.
We had some problems that year. We had some big air mattresses.
Well, because I didn't realize how big it was, and then
Oh,
I went to go set it up in the hallway, and I was like, "Oh, this is the width of the hallway."
Yeah, because me
I
and
can't really,
Sam.
like I can't move at this point because all the other rooms are taken, and I'm like, "This is
I remember
bad."
everybody's like, you like lean up against the wall today, and it's still like falling. Like, Sam, move.
like
your
it's not. I'm
mattress."
sorry.
Yeah, me and Sam were out in the hallway together because that was the same year Alex and Peyton shared a bed
Oh yeah.
together. That was that same year.
I remember also too from my first year. I remember your dad walking in right before I guess they were leaving the church, and like we were closing down. Yeah. And then he's like, "Make sure you guys use the bathroom." And then he goes, "If you
Oh no.
if you go to bed with itchy butt, you wake up with sticky fingers." And I was like, "Oh my goodness."
I don't know how many
that
times.
was that was like the first or second night of that year, and I'm like, this is wild.
I don't know how many times I've heard my dad say that.
He loves that one.
It's also funny too when it's like
Spam
like you're it's like 11 o'clock, and you're ready to go to bed. He just says that. And I'm like,
It's his Madden spin move.
It's in his emote wheel, his hotbar.
oh man.
Good times.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Yeah, we got some good.
we did, and we got a ball.
Got about an hour in. So.
Good content.
Yeah, we got
Good
some great
content.
content.
Awesome concept.
Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, comment, like. We have 2 episodes left, right there. 2 more left, so stay tuned,
Damn.
and then we'll have a little bit of break, but we'll be back. So we'll be back better than ever, actually.
Heck yeah.
So, make sure you keep watching. And yeah, thank you for watching. See you next time.
Yeah, appreciate it.